Greetings, my lords and my ladies. Welcome to another episode of Chronicles of the Immortals, where we uncover stories of our beloved heroes. And tonight I will tell you the tale of Edward the Black Prince, England's warrior prince. Conquest, chivalry, controversy. These three words define one of the most celebrated and complex figures of the Middle Ages. He was the heir to the English throne, a military genius on the battlefield, and a name that struck fear into the heart of France. His name was Edward of Woodstock, but history remembers him by another title, the Black Prince. But who was the man behind the black armor? Was he the perfect knight or a brutal conqueror? To understand his story is to understand the bloody dawn of the 100 Years' War. Born in 1330, as the eldest son of King Edward III, the prince was destined for greatness from his first breath. His father was a powerful and ambitious king, locked in a bitter dispute with France over the English crown. And war, as it so often does, provided the stage for the young prince's debut. At just 16 years old, Edward found himself at the Battle of Crecy in 1346. It was here, commanding the vanguard, that the legend was born. Against a much larger and heavily armored French force, the English stood their ground, the key to their victory, the longbow, and Edward, under the watchful eye of his father, held the line against devastating cavalry charges. The victory at Crecy was staggering. It established the teenage prince not just as a leader, but as a hero, and a decade later he would secure his legend at the Battle of Poitiers in 1356. Once again, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, the Black Prince used brilliant tactics. His forces didn't just defeat the French army, they achieved the unthinkable. They captured the King of France himself, Jean II. At the height of his power, the Black Prince was made the Prince of Aquitaine, ruling a vast swath of southwestern France from a magnificent court in Bordeaux. He was the epitome of chivalry, a patron of the arts and a founding member of the Order of the Garter. But the warrior prince's methods of rule were costly. To fund his court and maintain his army, he imposed heavy taxes. This led to resentment, and when the city of Limoges rebelled in 1370, the Black Prince responded with brutal force. After a siege, his army sacked the city, showing little mercy to its inhabitants. The sack of Limoges remains a dark stain on his reputation. It was an act of terror, a warning to others who might defy him. It revealed the harsh reality behind the chivalric ideal, that this prince could be both magnanimous and merciless. Plagued by illness, likely dysentery, contracted during his campaigns in Spain, a weary Black Prince returned to England in 1371. His health was broken. He would never see France again. He died in 1376 at the age of 45, a year before his father. The throne he had fought so hard to secure for his lineage passed not to him but to his younger son, Richard, who would become the troubled King Richard II. So why the Black Prince? The name isn't found in his lifetime. Historians debated. Was it from the color of his armor, his brutal reputation, or the dark shadow of mourning that followed his death? Perhaps it's all three. Edward the Black Prince was a paradox. He was the flower of English chivalry, yet capable of great cruelty. He won legendary victories, but his campaigns bankrupted his principality and fueled the very war he sought to win. His story is not one of a king, but of a prince who never wore the crown. Yet his legacy shaped the destiny of England and France for a century. He was a hero, a terror, and a tragedy, all encased in a suit of black armor. He was Edward the Black Prince. Thank you for watching and see you again in the Infinity Kingdom. Bye bye.